I want to tell you about how to make ambitious games with very small video game studios. So our company, Cornfox Brothers, are a three-man team. I'm the creative director in our team. I'm behind the art and story and game design, and then we have two lead programmers. Antti and Jukka William are their brothers, and they're back in there in the audience. So there's been a lot of talk about publishing and all the approaches with freemium and premium marketplace. Well, my presentation will be about kind of a personal experience with this particular project, which was very dear for all of us. So in the beginning, we wanted to make a game that was missing from the marketplace. And I'm talking about the App Store. And the beginning for our project was in 2010, when I got my first iPhone 3GS, and I was searching for console-style adventure RPGs like Seiken Densetsu or Secret of Mana or Zelda games, and they were missing from the marketplace. So I'm a big fan of old JRPGs, so I really wanted people to have that kind of experience. And even though we had been working with the industry for several years, we never had the chance to show what is the best thing we could do. So this was a project where we could realize our childhood dreams and go for the big adventure game that could be maybe compared to some of the classics, or at least it would be an alternative for people in App Store. Yeah, so the plans were to make a colorful action RPG. We had plans to, because we're a small team, we need to maximize our effort somehow, so we designed this 3D tile engine inspired by Minecraft. We call it Rock, and we made all the levels for Oceanhorn with this editor. It runs on iPad, and all the levels are done with iPad, and we can immediately test them, and it's easy to share them via iTunes and all that. But it was fun to work with. You could make levels on your sofa or in an airplane or in a bus while going to work or anything like that. So there's one thing to make your project efficient is the right tools. And I think our editor enabled us to create a much bigger game that we would have done with some 3D software, or I don't know. Well, we don't have any experience on Unity, so Oceanhorn runs on our own engine. We share with Mountain Sheep. Yeah, so about the game development, let's get in there. So there were a lot of new things for us. One was, of course, the 3D tile editor. It needed to be designed perfectly, because all the content for the game would be done on the fly while the production was going, of course. We had done previously Death Rally for iOS, and later it was ported to PC, so we didn't have a game engine that would support bone animations and advanced shaders, so those were the new things. And about experimenting, we had the core gameplay working immediately, because there's some really good examples of amazing adventure games out there, so we had that part working immediately. But when we started to explore the idea that how would the game progress, we tried to do something more experimental with open-ended exploration, that player could visit all the island in any order he wished, and he would pick up the fragments of the massive backstory from objects around the world, like from books or stone tables or some poor fellow's diary who fell into a cliff, down the cliff or something like that. And the open world concept failed miserably for us. The test players weren't drawn into the world. we thought there was a lot of interesting things inside the game, but they never found it. One of the reasons was also the camera angle, top-down camera angle. In open world games, you see a goal and you try to approach it, and game designers can put all those important pieces on the way there. But it didn't work for us. We needed to be the game needed to be from this camera angle because of the restrictions of the platform. And back in the day when Oceanhorn development started in 2011, the iOS platform was quite modest in sense of processing power. Yeah, so that's about the failed concepts, because next we were quite successful. And we made this decision to go all in with development. We wanted the cinematics to inspire player to roam through the world. Linear progression enabled us to control the information player gets, and of course difficulty levels and all that. But we could keep some of the open world elements inside the levels. I'm not quite sure if that was the right idea, but we have received kind of positive and negative feedback on that. Maybe it gave Oceanhorn a little bit of retro feel because of the difficulty levels, because of openness in some of the islands. So with these decisions, we got a strong bonding with the world through the story in test players, and we could reward them with cinematics and all that things. And there was just a perfect sense of progress when you get into new places and beat the big bosses. And this was a very big budget video game way of doing these things. And it was a little bit scary at that time that we're a three-man team. Can we make all the cinematics and boss battles for this game? Because it expanded from the original idea. Yeah, so this is ruining the ending of Oceanhorn for some. That's the final moments there in the game. But so yeah, so we had limited resources and we had this huge thing to tackle. I want to give some tips. Johannes had some great tips on his presentation about Badland. So these are more from the development side. So when we were unsure, can we make this game like we wanted to make, we started to focus on the features that had the biggest impact on the complete experience of Oceanhorn, and features that take it leaps towards the goal rather than small steps. So it was really, we could go back later and fine-tune assets or let's say boss battles. We did all the boss battles, and then before the launch we did really good testing on each of them and try to get the difficulty level perfect. But it was at that point when we knew that we have all we wanted the game to have. So yeah, and one of the things, I'm artist in this game, so I wanted art assets that I could use all over the world, like even from grave to ice dungeon, I could use those art assets all over the place, because it was still a huge task to do all the work for that. There's some numbers later on. So we are making games for audience that is accustomed to playing blockbuster games like new Final Fantasy or new Zelda games or new Call of Duty games. So we can never achieve that with 3 people. So there always has to be some compromises. And if you can get past that, you cannot make everything perfect, then you might not end up with the finished game. But if you're willing to sacrifice some of the details and some of the fine-tuning, then you will end up with a finished game, which is, of course, our goal. Yeah, so there were a lot of different people other than us 3 working in the project, and I feel like all of them brought something very. They all of gave their creative input into the game, and it wouldn't be the same game without the right team we had. So many of the individuals working on a small team needs to be doing many things. So and you need to be very self-confident sometimes that you can take care of the art and you can take care of the game design and you can take care of the story. And when it gets to the crunching phase, of course, those people who have stuck their fingers into many places are going to be very busy. But it's worth it, yeah. It's so you can give your creative input into the game. So, but we had perfect network of people we were able to gather during our our studio was. After our studio was founded. One was Tapio Liukkonen, who's a very well-known audio designer in Finland. He has done some big PC games lately, but we knew him from Mountain Sheep's Minigore games. And Kalle Ylitalo is an old friend of mine from my hometown. I've known him since we were 14 years old, and he's a musician, and he wanted to get into movies and game development. So he made his debut soundtrack for Oceanhorn, and many people doesn't recognize which songs are from Nobuo Uematsu and which from Kalle. He's really talented, and I'm happy to have him on our team. And we got some help from Mountain Sheep. We share the same office and have shared that for many years now. So that's another asset a small studio can have is strong friends. So Oceanhorn in numbers, there's 500 environment assets, many characters with unique animations. Story is quite big. I have a Final Fantasy VI script word count there for reference. We have 35 minutes of cinematic, 40 minutes of music, 15 plus hours of play time. So it's quite a big game actually. And I'm surprised so many people finish it when they start playing the game, because I've had some positive feedback here today that people played it until the end. It makes game designer a very happy man. So yeah, here's something. There's a lot of text. I'm gonna go through this quickly. So from publishing and marketing side, we use the same tricks as Frogmind did with Badlands. When we announced Oceanhorn, we had a single screenshot, and we got a tremendous welcoming from video game public. It was the article was featured in Touch Arcade and Kotaku, and we had 100,000 people visiting our development blog in a single day. When we only had there this screenshot and small text that says we're starting to make this game. So there was basically nothing else than that screenshot at that point. Yeah, so marketing material. I took this here because what was very beneficial from financial side for Oceanhorn was that it is very easy to see what the game is about from a single screenshot. So this actually will affect on all of our future games, that we will try to make games where people know from a single screenshot what kind of experiences they will have. And that's also goes into the creative discussion, because when you're making something that's completely different, it might have difficult times resonating with the audience if they don't recognize that is this something I want from a screenshot. Then it relies more on the peers' experiences. Yeah. So we have a great relationship with Apple. It started with Oceanhorn, but we previously knew the people from there with Death Rally project. Yeah. So price point gives a sense of value of your game. So we have a high price point. We got a great reviews from the fans of the series. So App Store ratings were good when we launched. And here's some some numbers about Oceanhorn. So from the launch week, we got the editor's choice for the first week of launch around the world. So it was a really big thing for us, and we made our development costs in a week. Apple later awarded us with #1 best indie game of 2013, and we have had many numerous featuring from Apple afterwards that we have a nice thing going on with there. For some reason, they like very much what we're doing with this premium title. And Metacritic score is 85, and I'm really happy about that. And to speed up a little bit, so what's next for us? We're gonna bring out Game of the Year edition of Oceanhorn. This is something we want to do for all of our fans who are asking for more of this world and more of this game. In the meanwhile, we're doing some other plans for the future. So this is a big content update for all the customers who have bought it with a quite high price. And we're working on our next game, and the production should start next autumn. So that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry.